Okay, so welcome everybody to Content Lab, and this is our group call, our first group call for the month of October. And before we get started, I'll just mention, what the topic is. So the topic is putting the spotlight on you, and we're also looking at increasing our recommendations for our company page. And before we get into that, if you want to share, I just wanted to know, like, how are things going with you on LinkedIn? And do you have any questions with regards to LinkedIn?
I think I fell
Okay.
off track. I can't lie, but I've come back now, I've taken a break, but I think my questions are like because I engage with the same content on both my personal page and then my company page. And so I guess the question is, what's the difference? Like what approach should I take with my company page versus my personal page, which I'm doing a lot of great things in community, but I don't know where to post what, basically.
Okay, so I have my LinkedIn account open right now, and I'm going to answer that question for you. I'm going to share with you like how it is that I'm showing up on my profile page versus my LinkedIn company page. So this is a great question. Um, I think right now you see somebody holding her laptop. I'm going to come back to that. Okay, so let me open up another window. I'm going to I'll just open up another window, because that is one of my focuses right now. Good morning, Natasha.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Felicia, she just asked a question about showing up on her, like sharing content on her company page versus her profile page. And what it is that I've been doing. So I'm just going to let you into my world, what it is that I'm doing is on my profile, I do share things as to what's happening in my business. And then I also share like I share some personal posts as well, as in like what's happening within my business journey. So for instance, here is my personal where, oh, by the way, I always find this to be a little bit confusing, but it does show me like on my profile, like what I've shared in Content Lab, even though this is not showing up on my personal right now. So on my personal profile, like recent content has been my LinkedIn Live yesterday. And that's fine because that's me showing up on LinkedIn under my profile. Let me just do a scroll. So yesterday I did my LinkedIn Live. And then skip that Content Lab one because you'll see it says Content Lab. That's not open to the public. Then my next post was like early in the morning before my LinkedIn Live, I did a repost. So therefore, just to remind people to come and watch the live. And then previously to that, the night before, my friend Danielle, she does graphic art, and she's a graphic designer. So I shared on, I believe it was Tuesday night, I did a repost to my page. And then that's Content Lab. We'll skip that. And I shared this post yesterday where it was a little bit of a, I was told that I don't have enough followers. So we can see that these posts here are like more personal, they're businessy, but they're more about what's happening within my business journey. Now, and then here is I did a LinkedIn newsletter. So this is all on my personal profile right now. Now, going to my company page, this is how I'm showing up on my company page. So my BA and I, we've gotten together, and I wanted to do it where I wanted to show up on my company page in a way where it's not so much about the I. So if people, like for instance, I do have a small and mighty team, and I know a lot of it is like more about brand because it's mainly you're working with Dee Boswell-Buck. But some of my clients, they have a team. And what's been happening is that for the most part, within the years that they've been working, they've been showing up as them. So when people reach out to their company, they're like, oh, I thought I was going to work with you. Or sometimes it could be that, yeah, they do, like people reach out thinking that they are going to work with that person who they're seeing all the time. Or sometimes it could be a bit of a hindrance because somebody might say, well, perhaps this person's company is too small for me to work with. So I always like to show up as a we. And I think like deep down, I am a we. Like I used to say before I even had my team, my family is there to cheer me on, things like that. So I show up as a we, my business coach. So here is my content, and I'm going to show you somebody else's page. So I decided like to kind of like strip off the Dee Boswell-Buck and kind of like make it more where it's about the brand. So this is a post here that I did, and I think on my LinkedIn profile, we had a picture of me, but we had the Twitter card. So we took me off, but you see me in the middle there. And then keep on scrolling here. This is only here because I do a LinkedIn Live, so that shows up. And then it's like, here are some newsletters that anyone can read. And then let me continue on. I don't love this graphic, but my VA, we were talking about like the branding, but here we're taking off the we. So when we read this, when somebody reads this, there is, this one does say I. This should have said we, so we are working through it. But now you see that I'm like being removed from it in a sense. Um, as a company, like even though I did share about truth and reconciliation, so every year I always share, I like to measure the progress for truth and reconciliation. So I did do this one as a repost. And so this is not a great example, but the person behind the brand, she was she was highlighted in an article. And then here we have, this was a post on my page, but we made it just a graphic. Do you really know who's watching your content? So now when you read through here, you rarely see anything like in first person as an example. This is just somebody from the brand, me, who did the newsletter. Um, Here we go again. We have a testimonial, and even though the testimonial was a we, like was a me, we took myself off. So we're looking for ways to like take myself off. But if you notice as we're scrolling, we don't see anything where I went to a networking event. Now, it could be that my brand was at a networking event. That's totally fine. I'm just looking for more ways where, because it's like solely me for the most part, I'm looking for more ways where we don't need to have my face on it so that people are saying that, oh, let's reach out to Boswell Buck Creative. And even though it's run by Dee Boswell Buck, that you're not going to see a lot of me. And the good thing about this, because I always, even though I love LinkedIn, this is what I always talk about not having our eggs all in one basket. I'm finding that I can take this content here that doesn't have my picture on it, or maybe it does, because this is a newsletter for anybody, but we are able to use these pieces of content. I use them on our on our Google company page so that when people are looking us up on Google, they see this too. And also, I kind of like abandoned my Facebook business page, but then I thought, why am I doing that? Instead of like, I wanted like take, before it's like I was angry, like, Facebook does nothing for me. It's, nothing's happening. It's archaic. But wait a second, I have quite a few people there who are following me and as a business person, I should think about leveraging what I have there. And you never know if someone's going to, it happens often, like somebody's going to refer you in a Facebook group. And if they do that, then they can go to my company page. So this is where I'm sharing some of these things here. So I found a way. So that's how we've been doing my company page. So I hope that's helpful. And I'm going to show you somebody else who we are working with. Um, and Anchor. So I have a client and her name is Christy. And we manage her personal profile from time to time, but we decided to focus more on her company page. So this is how her company page shows up. So usually we will share from her profile that she read a recent article, but her company page, because she does hospice and palliative care, so her page is being viewed as a resource. So what we do is we have here that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So it is showing like this is just an awareness, and this one here happens to be a carousel. And whenever we're creating carousels, we think like, how can this be shareable? And then we have like, where is the team? So she's done quite a bit of hiring where her team is going to like different areas, and they are involving people who are more senior or who are getting like palliative care services. They go to homes where, for seniors as well. So for here, they celebrated Labor Day in the US, and this is how they cover everybody's face. But we shared like pictures, and then when you scroll down, like when you open it up, we talk about like the people, like her team. So now people are able to see who her team. We also like are using this as a resource. So this one is the essential role of palliative care. So we go a little bit more deep into it. And again, it doesn't talk about Christy. And it also brings people to her website. So these social media platforms are like, don't bring people to the website. But because we're viewing this page as a resource, if somebody comes to it, then we want people to go to her company page. So sometimes we'll find like an infographic that wasn't created by us. But what we will do is we will tag where the resource came from. So this one here was like a really great share about myths. And so anybody can come here. And I'm going to just show you, like, she's been doing like quite a bit of hiring, and these are ideas if you're growing your team. So for her, we usually would do a post like "Welcome aboard" because it's Anchor Health, and if she had such a large hiring time, then what we did was we just did a carousel, and where we did like "Welcome aboard," and we did a post and we were able to tag the team members. So when I upload this into the group, I'll make sure to share this company page. So does that help you out with your as an answer?
Yes, definitely. Thank you. So I guess a follow-up is like when you have like a team, and what if they're a little bit hesitant to like produce content? Because it's one thing for me. I mean, I had to learn how to get over that hump of putting myself out there, but a lot of them are still quite hesitant to create content. So how do I have this on the company page? Is it just more like maybe creating static posts with their picture on it? What are some ideas that you think could be beneficial?
So I'm looking for a little bit of clarity because sometimes people don't want their face to be on social. So, like for instance, for Anchor Health, we are featuring her volunteer team. And one of the liaisons that we're working with, she's like, well, I'm making up a name. Here's information about Simone, but Simone doesn't want to be featured. So we just decided, well, we won't feature Simone. Like because it's visual, but we have so many other people. So, or maybe if you do need content from Simone, but it's okay for you not to use her picture, maybe Simone is sharing something that what is sharing an activity that happened with the company slash organization. So maybe Simone produces a graphic or maybe there were pictures. So for instance, I shared with you that one with Crystal. And yes, Crystal was in some of the pictures, but we really didn't have to because we had hands of people barbecuing and things like that. And that would have been totally okay. And we could have tagged Crystal. Or maybe if Crystal didn't want her name in it, she's producing. So if it's like you want everyone to have input, well, there's those are the ways you can get around it. And you don't have to put their face in there and you don't have to tag them. But maybe if they've signed on to say that they're going to be helping with content, that's the way how you can get around it.
We
Yeah.
had that issue too, Dee, a few years ago, right? With a few members. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so I mean, since working with this team here, yeah, I found like ways to work around it. And again, because I do know that, like, and I don't know if this is for you, Natasha, and for you, Felicia, like when they sign on, it's helpful for them to share things. And I know that it's a little bit tricky because you've got your therapy clients for instance. So that's something that is supposed to be, well, you can't even share that. It can't even be like maybe not even a case study, but it could be that maybe Simone has created a new program and you would like for her to maybe at least give some information to help create that post. And it could be a case study about how we created this program. So then people are like, wow, they've got this program? That's amazing. But it was like, that was the way that you were able to get Simone's information. Yes. Yes, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thanks. I wanted to ask because I liked how you had mentioned for the company page of your client, how people are viewing it as a resource, right? So as a resource to go on and use. So my question is, would that be something that would work also for my company page? Probably same thing for Felicia's company page, right? Like using it as a resource where it might not be that people stay on the company page on LinkedIn, but then filtering them to the website, intake forms, different services, all of that.
Yeah, like when I met this person, I was like, it was like the light bulb went bing, if light bulbs make noises. And it was like such a great idea because this is what her goals are. I want to be viewed as a resource so that because we're in the sandwich generation, so when people are looking for what it is that I provide and they use the search bar, they're going to see all this information. We've got things about caregivers. We've got National Caregiver Day, like we address everybody who would be involved in that. It could be a post that talks about Alzheimer's. One time we shared a post because she's in California. Last year it was so hot that we did a post about um, how to look after seniors during hot weather. So she wants like for potential clients to see this and also other organizations in the industry and also so that it can attract talent because people are using LinkedIn to say, do I want to work with this organization? And they can see those pictures of what it is that they do. They can see that, oh, wow, they talked about National Eye Care Month, right? They really want to, like, that's an organization that I want to work with. So she made it like even bigger than them. And actually, she has now I think she's at maybe 1813 or 1800, but we've really grown the page and she has so many reposts as well. Of course, it shows up on Google and but yeah, just thinking of it as a bigger picture so that it really performs for her company in so many different ways. Yeah. Yes, Anya.
Sorry, I was kind of looking for that icon for the
I
hand.
don't even know where it is. I'm like, hands up, that's me.
Um, um, am I correct, Natasha? Is that oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, so I have two questions, if we have time. The first one I
Yeah.
think is quick, but I need to cement like that self-honor to, spend time on LinkedIn. So, one of the things I say after our group here, I'm going to spend another hour. What would you say an entrepreneur, depending on, um, maybe their level or whatever, but how much time a week would you say one should really spend time on? from the back, the back end.
These questions I'm applying to myself as well, especially as summer is over and I've got the bandwidth. So I can tell you what I'm doing. I spend about an hour and I do like half an hour and I do a half an hour later because we often hear about on all of these platforms, including LinkedIn, spend 2 hours, spend 3 hours. But I got other stuff going on, very important things. I'm also running a company, but I commit to about an hour to an hour and a half. I do go a little bit longer because there are other things that I'm doing on the platform, and this is like outside of my content creation. So in the first half hour, I am just scrolling and I'm like engaging with the content. I'm also like saving things so I can go back to it later because sometimes I just see things that really inspire me, or I'll see that there's an event and I want to make sure I remember it. So I'm scrolling through and I'm liking things, I'm sharing a reaction, I'm making a comment to the post that I really enjoy seeing. And then a little bit later, like maybe at lunchtime, I'll scroll through LinkedIn again. And I definitely scroll through at nighttime. So for me, I would say definitely like an hour. You can break that up. I typically spend about an hour and a half, and that gives me enough time to engage and also like to go into the DMs too. And when I say go into the DMs, that's like when I'm not in selling mode, for instance. And that's just, it might be me saying, Natasha, I really enjoyed that post that you shared, or Natasha, I saw that you asked a question. This might be helpful for you. And I jump into the DM. So, because when you're going into the DMs for those individuals, then your content is showing up too. But I'm also going into the DMs just to be helpful. Like there's somebody who I'm looking at and I'm like, she would be a great client, right? Yes, I do this. I'm a terrible actress, but I do this. And I see that she has a really established following on Instagram. And now she's sharing content. I know she's using a scheduler on Instagram. So she has a gym. People go there. She has a lot of people there. It's in Etobicoke, Ontario. And she shares it on Instagram. People are like, "Yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna go," and they're liking it. And then she's sharing it, and she'll have things on the post like, "Don't forget to register at the desk." So I see that there's that happening. So I am doing my nurturing. So I go into the DMs and I'm like, "So I just want to say, like, it's so awesome that you're showing up on LinkedIn, but." And I know you're doing it, you're fairly new, but maybe people don't know about like where you're located. So I see little small tweaks where now she puts the address or she puts some more information. And then I sent her a recording that I have about how to glow up your LinkedIn. But sometimes I'm just helping for things outside of LinkedIn. Or if you have a client, if you've got somebody that you've got your eyes on, you can share a resource to them as well.
That's great. Thank you. And Mike, very quick question, because as you started talking about following organizations, and I quickly was looking, I believe I'm following too, for someone like myself that is a speaker, we should be following more organizations. Am I correct? Or
Well,
not?
here's the thing. Like we could follow, so definitely it would be great to follow a page, but the organization doesn't necessarily see you. But if you're looking to speak for an organization and you're looking to like reach out to the decision maker, it would be helpful to be following that page, right? So they can see that you're looking at it. But so I would say that, and also why it's great to follow the page is that you can get some information and then you could say, I have a talk. So I am looking at an organization and I went to their website and I saw that they're looking for partners and they help entrepreneurs. And I was like, hmm. So I am putting together a proposal after I've gone through their website. So because I was following their page, I saw this and I went to their website and I'm putting together a proposal where my services would be great for their clients. And I mean their clients being that they speak to groups. And I've also done some research to see that they do get funding, they get grants, like the organization. So where can I be a partner and send them like a pitch deck, and then I could be paid to help them. So that's where organizations like those following those pages are really great for getting some additional information. And when you see those pages too, you can see, I think there's a link called People, but you can go in there and you can see who works at those organizations, and then you'll be able to choose who the right person is to reach out to.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
That's really good
welcome.
information. Very
Yeah.
good.
And Natasha, yes, 1.5 hours outside of content creation. So I was just telling them, I'm not going to go over it again, but I've got like a post ready to go as soon as we're done. So it took me about not even 10 minutes. So I'm going to share it, but I'm still going to engage about an hour to an hour and a half. So I already did about maybe 15 minutes at breakfast. And I'm not really tracking it, but this is just like ballpark.
Like ballpark. Okay. Okay. So honestly, when you said that, I was like, how am I going to get an extra 90 minutes in my day every day? So yeah, I was just like I said in the chat, I'm just gonna like think about it like, LinkedIn is a client. Then I have to sit with the client and have a session with the client. So I'm literally here looking at my calendar. I'm like, where can I put LinkedIn in my schedule? Because this person needs attention every single day.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have a team member who also helps you manage your LinkedIn. So maybe that team member, I don't know, maybe that team member can log in and also like, because they know what the goals are, they could log in and engage as well. Just suggestion. Yeah. But I
Thank you.
find that that time goes by quite quickly. So I know it seems like, oh no, where am I going to find that time? But especially like when I break it up, it's like, oh, some days it's like, oh, I spent too much time on LinkedIn today. Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, actually, another question. So the last few weeks, I've gone to a lot of different events, whether it was speaking at the events or attending those events and everything. So my biggest thing is how do I, because there's so much, I need to organize it better. I'm like posting it, right? So I'm thinking ways to post it on the company page as well as on the personal page, or like repost it and reshare it on each. Is there like a good cadence? I know a lot of times because it is fresh, it's nice to do it like quickly after. But even if I do it a week or 2 weeks after, or like a recap, any suggestions there?
Yes. And like say for me, I'm like sharing. I'm always in like sell mode. So things that I do for myself is like I went to a couple of events. I went to a movie event and I still haven't shared about it. It's going to be a throwback. So it could be like throwback to a couple of weeks ago. That one where I shared for the company page for Anchor Health, it was for Labor Day, and we shared that post a week later, right? Because we already had things already on the go. Another thing that we did with that company page was that they had so many events that we did a post where it highlighted the different events. So we kept it to five. We never want to go more than that. And we kept it to five events, and then we tagged people throughout there so that when you saw a picture of Natasha with these people, then that was the first picture, and that was the first thing mentioned in the caption. And then when you take a look at the other picture, then you could also you could tag the other people in that as well. So that, I mean, that's a really great way to get a lot of engagement on a post. And also it was our way of being able to keep up and also highlighting. Because for this company page, if we kept it to welcome aboard, we got a new hire, we've done this, then this page that's supposed to be a resource for palliative care and hospice care is going to be off topic, always celebrating and not addressing things as a resource.
Okay, no, that's actually really good. So if then if I'm going to these events, so then posting on my, I guess, personal page is better than
No,
unless I'm pulling it into something resource for the company page.
no, I think like for going to events,
Mhm.
it's definitely great for company pages as well.
Okay.
And so you can share it. You could share it on your personal profile, and then you could definitely share it. Like you had one with oh my goodness, who I can't remember. Um, I think I commented on it. I don't know why I cannot remember her name.
Oh,
Um,
is it Tracy?
no, it's
No?
somebody who is very, oh, I cannot remember her name, but I might have like jumped in and I said, "Oh, I love the way you shared your experiences." Um, Jean,
Oh, Jean
ah,
Augustine.
got a
Yes.
lot going on.
Yes, 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 yes.
That's great for your company page as an example
Right.
too.
Okay. Okay.
You can repost it. If you share it
Yeah.
as something being fresh, then you get more engagement on your company page.
Right.
Maybe it's just a few tweaks to
Okay.
it, or you can just copy and paste it, but just
Okay.
share it as a fresh post.
Did I repost it? I did not repost it in the company page. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I could repost it now
Yeah,
as a
do that.
repost and then write something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
If
you.
you're going to repost it, then you could just give a different type of intro that's
Yes.
not in the main caption.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and last question, Felicia. Go ahead.
Oops, there we go. So my question is about, because I know like I guess I'm definitely more active on Instagram, and I know that the trend there is reels, reels, reels. So how does that translate to LinkedIn? Do you find that reels are more effective on LinkedIn versus carousels, or do you find that there's not really much of a difference? I'm just trying to wrap my mind around the different nuances of LinkedIn versus Instagram.
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, video is always tops, but quite often people are finding that when they take that reel and they put it onto LinkedIn, it doesn't perform as well. So on LinkedIn, when you do a video, I would say do a different type of video. Because usually on Instagram, it's a little bit more, there's a lot more bells and whistles. Sometimes I see people move things over and it has the stickers on it. But on LinkedIn, having a video where like I see that you're doing the lives, which is great. Having a video that shares information that would be helpful, right? You could be talking into the camera. You could maybe there's a voiceover, but when you're sharing a video onto LinkedIn, I would say it would be better if it had like information that's helpful. And definitely, like if you've got a video, like you attended an event, and that video is, it has some music behind it. It shows everybody in the audience. I would just take that video and put it onto LinkedIn as is. And there are apps to remove watermarks. So if you are going to use a video, so I'll make sure that I put that into the group because whenever I do take videos for my clients and I put them on, and I use these apps that take off the Instagram. So before Instagram, when you would download it, it would have the Instagram logo in one spot, but Instagram got smart. They make it bounce all over the place, right? And also, same with TikTok. So there are apps that remove the watermark and then go ahead and share that on LinkedIn or wherever. So I'll make sure I share that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to go into the presentation. It's just pretty much like a recap of like what's happening in the group right now. I'm just going to leave it here. Okay, so for October, it's all about turning up the spotlight on you. And we are in the last quarter, and I think it's time to let people know all the amazing things that you and your team can do. And it will have to take more than, like for the LinkedIn audience, it's more about like you're still sharing what it is that you provide, but it's also providing like show and tell. And that's why I wanted to talk about case studies. And these are things that my business coach has spoken to me about. And I'm like, let me talk about it in Content Lab. So the focus is about getting the spotlight on you and also showing up and sharing your expertise. So in the group, like I'm very much aware of what the different things that everyone does. So I know that like Natasha and Felicia, and there's Clarissa. When it comes to case studies, you have to, like, there's a line that you have to walk. So one of my recommendations is that when you have a case study, it could be a case study that's built about how you created this webinar. Or Natasha, I think you've got something that happens once a month on a Friday, I think. It could be that how you built it out. And then in that case study, it talks about, it starts off like the problem. I notice that people are often suffering with this. And then it goes into the next step. Or it could be like how I prepared the talk or how I prepared for this keynote so that when somebody is reading that and if you want to get more speaking opportunities, well, there are individuals who are following you on LinkedIn and they're like, wow, she put that type of care into it. I want to reach out to see if she can speak for me as well. And then I want to focus on us building our recommendations because this is an area that tends to fall off on the wayside. And I'm going to just go through that. So I shared in the group like my case study flow, and I would like to like share an actual one. But when it comes to case studies, I tend to do carousels. But I just want to say that it doesn't have to be a carousel, which I mentioned in the group. It can be a video, it could be a text post, it could be one picture. But if it's not going to be, and if it's not going to be a carousel, then in the caption, you would explain the flow of how it is that you helped with this problem. So in this case study flow, it addresses the problem, it addresses the process, it goes into the transformation, and then it goes into the proof. And then we always want to have a call to action. So I'm going to go to, let me see. I have one on my phone that I want to take a look at. But in number one, you want to mention like, what is the problem? So I'm going to read one out to you that I have. And I know that they're all different. Um, let's see, documents. Okay, I'm going to read one. This is one here is about the company page that we just looked at. So my case study starts off with how a hospice and palliative care organization became a trusted voice on LinkedIn. So if you are going to share it as a carousel, then when you are doing the caption, you don't have to make your caption as long. You just want, because you want people to be drawn into the carousel. So you can do your caption half of what you usually would do it as. So I think a great caption that has a lot of keywords is about 180 to 200 words. But if you're going to do a carousel, I would say slice that in half, but making sure that you've got keywords. So, what is the problem? So, who is experiencing it? Where are they stuck? And then share that baseline. Like maybe they've got like no one booking into their calendar, or as a team, they're working with couples, and as a couples, they could never agree. So, here's my problem here that I put. They didn't just want visibility, they wanted trust. So, like the current this is what they wanted. They wanted to be seen as the authority. They wanted to educate medical leaders, and they wanted to grow a following that viewed their page as a resource. Now, here we go into the process. What you did. So, did you audit? Did you do things to reposition? Did you do outreach, look for collaborations, and kind of keep it in chronological order or keep it as a theme? So for another thing that I wrote for their problem, which I want to bounce back, was that their audience wasn't scrolling TikTok. They were decision makers, providers, and caregivers, and they were on LinkedIn. But the company's present wasn't showing up as the go-to place for information or connection. So, going into the process, I have here on the carousel, we started with the foundation. We optimized the company page. We defined exactly who they wanted to attract. We built out a system for consistent aligned content. So, for you, anyone, if you're looking for speaking opportunities, you could share about what was your strategy. So, They wanted to have this, and this is how I built this out. And then we go into the transformation, but let me go back to talking about the process. So for this person, their content had to do more than just show up. It had to define hospice and palliative care. It had to highlight, it had to celebrate new hires. It had to share caregiver resources. So, talking about now, what was the transformation? So, the transformation, you want to share numbers or give a bit of a narrative. So, those what quantity, like what was the growth? We sold 20% more tickets within this time frame. We got better, they got better leads. They had more clarity in their socials. Um, Within their relationships, they had more confidence. They gained more partnerships. So in my example here for this company page, we leveraged LinkedIn's competitor feature to track industry peers. We adjusted their positioning. We were able to stay ahead in terms of thought leadership. And within months, followers grew by 32%, surpassing 1,400. The staff proudly kept their LinkedIn profiles updated. So that ended up being something that we didn't really expect, but the staff was so excited about it. They started sharing more on LinkedIn, and then therefore, they were also reposting to their profiles and expanding their reach and also boosting brand credibility. And then, so now you can have proof. So this is where I was sharing the proof. I shared once about how we help somebody outsell like, or sell out their event. And that person, it was actually her recommendation that I used her as an example. And in the proof, I just shared like a picture of the room. And then that was the proof. And we shared some information. So the proof is for the company page that we're doing. Um, Content was repurposed from the team across their 6 locations, therefore expanding company reach. So we didn't have a picture, but we shared a picture that we got from Canva where it was a group of hands, like teamwork, go team. And then we wrote on top of it. And then we had employees became brand champions. So that was the proof. And now the call to action. So on your last carousel or within your caption, what is that call to action? Like, do you want to have some of this? DM event for my checklist, or message me to apply this to your team, or book a call. So for me, I had that if your company is ready to strengthen trust and thought leadership on LinkedIn, let's talk. And then in the caption, I had a link to my booking calendar, or I did say again within the caption, send me a DM, but my caption was much more smaller. So if you go with a carousel, I have here your caption will be half of what you usually write. But like I said in the group, I do have like a graphic that says this can be a video. So if it's a video, you can keep your caption tight again, but you're going to make sure you've got keywords because people are doing searches on LinkedIn and the search terms are not going to come up from your images or from your video. So you can do your videos, you can do a carousel, and you can also do a text post as well. But on LinkedIn, to get this elevated client, they want to see these case studies. And it's these case studies that are going to win them over. And when you're doing your important keywords, you're going to include the target audience. So when I help to this entrepreneur do this, what the topic is and what their pain point is. So I'm rounding to the bend now. That's about the case studies. And we also want to talk about getting those recommendations. So, recommendations, reach out to those that you've worked with this year. I even, like last year, I reached out to people that I worked with in a year and a half because I was like, yikes, I haven't updated things. And I just removed the voices. Like they might be like, we haven't worked together in forever. But I requested a recommendation. And then I also asked them to copy and paste that recommendation and put it on my Google business. So I also shared a link in there. So for you, reach out to those that you've worked with this year. It could be a client. It could be that you were on somebody's podcast and they could say that Anya was such a great guest. She covered this, this, and this. It was our most highly rated, or it was so great, whatever the case is. Who is it that you partnered with? Like, I really enjoyed working with Felicia. We got this done within this time frame. So when you're reaching out to them, it's always a benefit to you if you kind of get them started. So for one person, I said, her name is Jessie. I said, can you mention how we were able to get all 10 posts shared within a week and a half. So then she had something to work with. It also could be someone that repeatedly replies to your email newsletters because maybe they get a lot of value from your newsletters. So you can reach out to them to say, would you mind like mentioning like what it is that you love about my newsletters and what keeps you continuously opening them up? And then that could be a recommendation as well. So here are some screenshots when you're looking for these recommendations. When you scroll mostly towards the bottom of your profile, you'll see recommendations, and to the far right-hand side, you'll see a plus sign. So you can hit the plus sign, and then it'll open up to ask for a recommendation or to give a recommendation. And then you can do a search for the individual's name, and then you can ask for the recommendation, or like it'll have it templated for you, or you can customize that and then ask that individual for a recommendation. And the good thing about it is that when they give you a recommendation, it doesn't just show up. So you might get in and say, really? um, that's not quite what I was looking for. And then you don't have to put it onto your page. So it always ends up with you as to what that last step is. So that's how to do recommendations. And I wanted to share a quick win for you. So I think what I'm going to be doing is in the months going forward, I want to remind everybody of like national days. Because when we do a post for a national day, it kind of takes the edge off of creating content. And so it is Small Business Month in Canada. I'm saying this because right now the group is all Canadian. It's Small Business Month in Canada. So it's a great opportunity for the month of October to write a small business post. Like the other day, I did one, and then I had a call to action. Like, if you are a Canadian small business, share in the comments what it is that you do and share your website. So I think I had like maybe, including me saying thank you, maybe 40 something comments, 50 something reaction. And then it's Small Business Week, October 19th I was going to say to 2025, October 19th to the 25th. So you are a business. So perhaps there's individuals that you've worked with, that you partnered with. So you can create a gratitude post, for instance, and it could be like, this is who I'm highlighting, or these are individuals that I really admire. So maybe it's not so much about your industry, but maybe it's something that's very important. They're individuals who advocate for. So in this, you are sharing some Canadian businesses that you want to highlight, and then you tag them and you can tag their company page. But doing like national days and national months, but I don't like to do them too often. But I thought if I could help you take the edge off a little bit, you could focus on doing a post for Small Business Month or for the week, which is the 19th to the 25th. So that is what I have. And Anya, I see that you put up your hand.
Yeah. I have a question, if I am allowed to. When you talked about proof. So proof could be a testimonial, right? That would be proof, right?
Yes, you can do the testimonial.
Okay, so when you do the testimonial, then a paragraph or whatnot, a description of what happened. So I have one ready to go that I wanted to put out today. So this is perfect for me. And so then I can talk about, what our session was all about, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So that's good to have in part with the testimonial. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, and I want to say that whenever I do a graphic with a testimonial with just words, I usually do, because sometimes testimonials could be long. I usually take like the most powerful excerpt out of there and I make the graphic short. And then I may share the full testimonial in the caption, but then it kind of takes away from the post. So I share another powerful excerpt. And then if they happen to be on LinkedIn, I'll tag them and I'll thank them and then I'll go into it. So that's a way that you can do that.
Okay, great. And my other question is, and maybe you can't, the timing is too much because
No.
I like your recommendations. Where on the page do I see recommendations? I was going on my page and I couldn't find it.
Oh, I'll show you. But first, I'll
Okay.
just quickly show you Louisa. We had worked together this year, and this here is her post, which is a case study. And we took a picture of her holding, like it looks very superhero-like. And then this is a person, and it was like, when was the last time you audited your business operations? I recently worked with a client who was going through this. This was the result once we worked with her. So it doesn't like capture all of the steps, but still it was a case study. The result, thousands of dollars. Um, let's see. I recently worked with a client who had been in business for 13 years without ever doing an operations audit. Problem. The result, thousands of lost dollars, gaps in the system, no SOPs, zero tracking of metrics. After our audit, this is what happened. Clear systems and SOPs, a CFO guiding financial decisions, defined metrics. And for the first time in years, they feel confident in their business. So that was nice and short. And that was a testimonial. And let's make Q2 your strongest quarter yet. So that's an example. Now I'm going to go to the recommendations. Okay, so this is her page. And when we scroll all the way down, I don't know for the life of me why recommendations are as far as they are, by the way. But we're scrolling down past her activity, past her experience, and then we have past the skills, and then there are the recommendations. So I can do a recommendation because actually I will be working with her. She's going to be helping me with SOPs actually, but I can do a recommendation here, and then I'm going to go to my page so we can see what it looks like, or my profile. And then you'll see all of the buttons. Here we go. Okay, so scrolling down and then past education, past projects, and then here are the recommendations. So this is where in that screenshot, we've got like the plus sign or the pen. And you just choose, I believe it's the pen, we will see. And then, but it's all showing in the right. So in the pen here, um, so maybe it was a plus sign. Yes, the plus sign. We can ask somebody for a recommendation, and then it opens up. Who do I want to ask? I'm going to say, um,
You can ask Anya.
okay, I'll just put this here. So, Anya, and then there you are. And then when I hit continue, and then relationship, we worked together. I did work for her. She was a client of mine. The time that we worked together, or where, when not when I was a supervisor at Winners, but as a LinkedIn expert. And then we have, here's where people just usually hit send, but I can like make it more personalized and say, can you talk about the time when we did this? And then you send it. Yeah,
Perfect. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. So for
And I
me, I
fill
mean,
that out with
yeah.
delight.
So that's it for what I have. But even though we have a minute to go, if anybody has any other questions, I have time to answer them. I'll check the chat.
I think this was really helpful for me, but I'm sure for the whole group. And I personally really enjoy always coming back to maybe something that we had talked about before because there's always newness that comes with it, and it's also a lovely, gentle reminder. And I think something like this is so important because most of us tend to not spotlight ourselves as much. And when you brought it up, in the opening today, I'm like, well, how many times a week do I spotlight? Or what's the percentage? So if I post 3 times a week, do I spotlight myself once out of those three, or is it maybe once in those 2 weeks? Because you don't want to like vomit all over everybody with your spotlighting either.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, like say that one with Louisa holding the computer. Um, that's a spotlight, and I don't think it showed her as this is what I do as an example. And then we did a case study another week. So it could be a very casual post. It could be a post where you're just sitting down and like, I just got booked for a speaking opportunity. So it's just a picture like this, and there's no words on it. And it could be that, and then the post is kind of casual the way it was written. You don't have to mention who, because maybe that's confidential, but I'll be speaking. I'm really happy about the fact that I'll be speaking for this organization in January. And this is what I'm going to talk about. And this is how I'm building it out and why it's important that I speak about it. So now it really comes across as this is a very casual, like this is what's important to me. And I know that, well, you could say I know the audience will like it or what, but deep down the audience is going to find a lot of value. So it comes across as being caring. And why I liked those posts where it's about talking about the fact that you've been booked because even though you might have been booked in January, that's multiple posts. So when you share this post in October, then people say, "Oh, Natasha does speaking engagements." Oh, and this is what this is how she maps things out. So yeah. So I think we can do
Beautiful.
it in a very soft, gentle way.
Yeah, you made it sound very non-salesy.
Yeah.
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 Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I agree. I do like the case study. And in even, in my industry, that there are different things we're doing, right? We have a men's group coming up. We do the mindset reset every third Friday of the month. So there's different things that could absolutely do a case study on. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I'll do is because I have those up as like graphics,
Mhm.
I will create it on a document and link to it so that you can copy and paste the format
Oh,
and
cool.
you
Yeah.
could put it into chat. So you could just like go into Chat GPT or whatever it is that you use and just state everything that you did. I just like I'm talking it out and I just put it all in and then I say use this format. So it's still yours, but now it puts it all into order for you. So I will do that so that you can copy and paste it and put that into chat and then it can just take your words and just flip it in there for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like this because then it already helps me to map out what I'm going to do for the next couple of weeks instead
Yes.
of sitting here like, oh, what am I going to write for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I like the small business week idea too, right? Like I just wrote something where like these are some of the small businesses that have helped me in running my business and things like that and like tagging people and all of that. So
Yeah, like last year I found it was photography day, just World Photography Day, by the way. And then I turned it into a post highlighting photographers that I've worked with or really admire, and I tagged them. And it
mm,
was such a popular post.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good idea too.
Yeah, so they were just so thankful to be highlighted as well. And it also keeps in mind that I could be a possible partner if they're working with
Mm,
somebody too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Great questions, everybody. And I do have the speaker for our fourth Tuesday, but I didn't do the graphic yet, so I don't want to say it. But she focuses on videography. So there's your hints, and I will put it up into the group. Yeah. Ooh, I know.
Sounds good. Now
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, who is it?
Yes, I know. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I'll have this
Thank
up into the
you.
group with all of the links that I've mentioned as well. And until then, enjoy your time on LinkedIn. And it doesn't have to be an hour and a half. You could start with a half hour, and I'll be looking out for what it is that you're sharing. Have a great
Sounds
day.
good. Thanks. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.